nervous as I was. But we got through it. Title is Jesus' Baptism and Evelyn's Baptism. My mother-in-law died last night. She was 88 years old. Don't say, she struggled. She had her full mind, but she struggled the last 5 years. Died at 7:30. I think it's the only time I've been with somebody when I saw them draw their last breath. And I sat there. Times like that, our minds don't work. And something settled in me. This was holy. The last time I remember feeling like this was in Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Sitting before this corpse. This used to be life of my mother-in-law. This was a holy, holy moment. And it's not something I thought, it's something I experienced. Powerful, and I just wanted to sit. I had no words. I just wanted to sit in the presence of this deceased life. What was that about? The reaction surprised me. Could it be that there's something deeper in us than our minds and our wisdom and our understanding and our knowledge that realizes that we all are born in the image of God? That all of us bear a chunk of God in our souls, and to see that light that is the image of God in us go out. It's a holy, reverent moment. And what amazes is that it's all of us. All of us are born in the image of God and bear His light and manifest it with different degrees of success maybe, but manifest. Now to Evelyn. Do you know that therapists at Auburn University, and I've heard nurses say the same thing, that the most powerful external stimulation for young little babies is to hear another baby cry. And they laugh and they giggle because you get one started crying and you can get a whole nursery up. I've heard these stories. Before we have language or comprehension of the world, is there something in us that there is compassion and connection to one another? Watch kids at nursery school. How they can model what it is a godly life, not all the time surely, but to live a life of justice for all people, a life we should live in peace, a life of sharing and kindness. They do that at 3 years old. You don't have any grapes? Here, take a grape. You don't have a pencil? And watch them when one falls and gets hurt on the playground. They huddle around like a little group of monkeys because they care. Jeff and Lisa, if you take, I've got a story at the end of this. It will be the best parenting 3 minutes you'll ever hear, okay? But you gotta wait till the end. But the second most important thing to take home is you're taking home this child and she is holy. Because in her life lives the image of God and the Spirit of Jesus Christ. And she is far more important than being a consumer or a learner or achiever. She bears the light and the love and the image of God for the world. Don't ever let this other place displace the holiness of who this child is. And that God has given you the wonderful opportunity to model what that kind of human being can be. That you have the ability to make your decisions in according to what God is. Compassion, justice, peace, kindness, hard work. Now to Jesus, back to Jesus. Jesus is baptized by John in the Jordan. John was part of a counter-temple movement. It was a group of Jews who said, the temple is just, there's no point. It's just so corrupt and vile. We've got to start over. So the Essenes moved to the Jordan River and started a new community. John was probably a part of that. That we've got to start over as Jews. And so he was baptizing so that Jews used to baptize Gentiles. John's baptizing Jews. We have to start ourselves over again and be open to the power and the presence of God. Jesus is baptized. And when he's baptized, the Spirit or the God says, this is my beloved Son in whom I'm pleased to dwell. And there's the Holy Spirit in the form of a dove. Jews believed God resided in the temple. Not anymore. Now the presence of God on earth is in Jesus. He is the new presence of God in the world. Now for parents, you know what happens next? Here's a new-fashioned child of God, Jesus. Hasn't preached a sermon yet. God says you are an enormous success because you're a child of God. Anybody know what God does next with him? Lord, God needs some sons down here in this world. He gets one. What does he do with him? Who knows what he does with him? It says the Spirit drives him to the wilderness. Nobody was there. It was a wilderness, a desolate place, and he's there for 40 days and 40 nights fasting, experiencing deprivation. Well, that sounds like a waste of a good son of God, doesn't it? 40 days of deprivation, what good does that do the world or anyone else? It strikes me of like SEAL training or Ranger training. You know, they torture those men. They live hungry and sleep deprived and enormously stressed and overworked. You know what they learn? You can function when you're deprived. When you're deprived, your deprivation isn't the center of the world. God is the center of the world. And you can be a child of God though you lack or you want. Because a part of life, a real big part of life is that we're all going to be deprived. We are all deprived. You don't have enough love, your family doesn't work right, your marriage isn't all you would be, you're underemployed, you don't get enough recognition, and on and on and on. Life is about deprivation. Jesus experiences that firsthand. And you know what? When you're hungry 40 days, God's still God. You're still his son. Life is still filled with opportunity. While he's deprived, somebody comes with shortcuts. There's a way through this that's a whole lot easier. Satan says there's no point in the Son of God being hungry. Make bread. Good God, there's enough hungry people in the world. That'll fix a whole lot of problems in the world, just bread. And I'd love to extend this. So Jesus starts making bread. Do you know how that works in our world? He makes bread, big crowds of people gather, it's a great thing. Of course, the farmers don't like it, and the bread peddlers don't like it. They organize against him. But after a week, the people are saying, well, we're trying to make some pumpernickel. Or some of that bread with little seeds, and we're tired of the bread you make. My God, if you make bread, couldn't you make vegetables? Or a little roast beef to go with this? I don't know, I will end it this way. If he's a bread maker, they'll end up despising him. It won't meet all their expectations. They'll be disappointed. And the second thing Satan says is, well, if you're the Son of God, jump off the top of the temple. Because it says God will protect you. And so if Jesus jumps off the temple, you know how it's going to work? They're going to come, wow, that's terrific. We love that. Oh, yeah, we love that. Could you do it tomorrow? Because my kids can see it. And if you do it tomorrow, we bring the kids, and they'd like to do it too. And Jesus would be dumping off the temple every day for the entertainment of the crowd. Until they get tired of it. And they say, who is that guy jump out of the temple? Oh, some fool. He just wants attention. The final temptation was to see Jesus says, Satan says, if you bow down and worship me, I'll give you all the kingdoms. What that is Satan says, all you need to do is take up a sword and use a little violence. And you can fix the world. Just a little violence, a couple of deaths. And you can fix the world, and I will help you. All the kingdoms of the world will be yours. Just take up the sword. Use violence to fix things. How has that worked with Alexander and Stalin and Caesar and Napoleon, has anything ever changed. What changes is a child of God, living in the character of God, seeking peace and justice and truth, passion, empathy, and hard work. That's the power you have to change the world. And that's the way Jesus lived his life. The child you have there, Jeff, is holy. Don't ever let this world that diminishes the value of human beings and human life ever reduce that. One of my favorite passages in the Bible I quote often is God. Let's see, about 10:30, I'll just let you guys go walking, talking. If it's too long, I'm sorry. But God comes to Moses and says, gee, you know, I've heard the suffering by people and the cries of them and the injustice they're experiencing. You know what I'm going to do, Moses? I'm going to send you. And Moses says, who am I to go talk to Pharaoh? I'm just a shepherd, for God's sake. I can't do that. You know what God says to him? You know what he says? I'll be with you. He takes a shepherd, sends him to Pharaoh to let my people go. He's just a shepherd, for God's sake. And all he's got going for him is God says, I'll be with you. Okay, then that's what God says to you today. That's what he says. That's what he says to everyone. I'll be with you. You bear my spirit. You bear my life. I will be with you. We are here to help one another and to help our children align their lives and their decisions and their spirits with the Spirit of Jesus Christ. So, it's nothing simple. It's enormously complex. We simply work it. There is a parenting. Albert University has a thing called about helicopter parents that they're investing a lot of money in their kids' education, and they went to private schools, and now they're Auburn, and the parents are there to kind of to move away all the problems that the child might have. When they give a child a C because he missed the final, well, they don't talk to the child, the parent comes. This happens a lot. That the parents are there, and they think this task of parenting is to make the child's life as comfortable and filled with joy and peace and happiness as they possibly can. That's a good idea, but again, life has its difficulties, and it's so important for children to face their own difficulties. The parents don't fix it. There's an exclusive school in Manhattan. No, let me start with this one first. A researcher, Stanford University, I have her name, but I don't have it here, did a research with kids. Now, you tell me which is going to work better. They took one group of kids and gave them a puzzle to work together. It's kind of easy, and they would say, oh, you are so bright. You kids are you're really bright little children. That's wonderful. You know, another little group of kids, the same puzzles, they said, oh, you guys work hard, and you work together. I'm so impressed with the way you guys work. You're hard-working little kids. Take that puzzle away, then they give them a much more difficult puzzle. Guess which group solves the puzzle? You got it yet? The children that are taught to work. Doing this means we really don't believe what's in our children. We don't believe in their capacities. We don't believe in the Spirit of God, and somehow we have to make their life something. That's really kind of unbelievable. I got to stick this in just for the sake of sticking it in. Robert E. Lee said the best general he faced in the war was George McClellan. George McClellan didn't win a battle, but George McClellan was first in his class at West Point. He had an extraordinary military career. Everybody knew he was a star. He quit the Army to run Pennsylvania Railroad, did a good job of that. When the war started, he went back into the war as a general. They put him over the Army of Potomac. He did an extraordinary job training him. Everybody would say McClellan made a huge impact on the war by the training he gave. There's only one thing. McClellan wouldn't fight. He didn't know how to fail. And it scared him to death to go into battle because he might fail, and he had no capacity to manage failure. The successful general of the war was Grant. Grant's military career didn't work out right. He failed in farming. He failed at business. One day, one Christmas, he was selling firewood, for heaven's sake, so he could give his family a Christmas. When the war started, he was working in his father's store. By God, Grant knew failure. And maybe he would fail, but by God, he'd smack the enemy a couple times before he failed. He wasn't afraid of failure. He was afraid of not trying. You see the difference? Evelyn will have difficulties. In her spirit is the capacity to overcome and grow, because it's about us and what we can become because who lives in us. Karen Wacker was an Emmaus researcher. You ready for the best parenting you will ever hear in your life? I'm serious. I wish I had seen this when I was starting raising kids. Here it is. So worth the price of admission. And you'll remember, a friend of ours gave a pirate party for all the little kids she knew. Little kids like that. She got a great backyard with trees and tree houses and a swimming pool. And so they invited all her little cousins and nephews and all the people she knew had little kids to have a pirate party. There weren't many old people there. They were mostly young parents, young kids. But Sam and I went, and I sat by the pool, watched the kids splashing in the pool. When you're my age, you love to be around children, other people's children. And I was sitting there watching the children splash. Across the pool from me was two young couples in their 30s. They had children in the pool. They were drinking a cocktail and enjoying being together. Emily, who I kind of know pretty well, her little 3-year-old is in the pool. She doesn't have any floaties on, and she's on this big alligator thing she's floating on, and she can't swim. And she's in 4 feet of water. And she falls off the alligator. And she's splashing, and she's kind of crying, or not crying, "Mommy, Mommy." Here it is. Most incredible piece of parenting I have seen in my entire life. Emily gets up, leans over the pool. She says, "Sarah, I'm here. You can do it." "Sarah, I'm here. You can do it." And she did. "Evelyn, I'm here. You can do it." In Jesus' name, amen.